So, would you like to learn this very useful tool? Yay, great. So let's go to our practice area and I'll explain a bit more. Lovely. So in a moment we're going to do a little exercise, a brief exercise, which is about mindfulness of your reactions. So I'd like to do it in relative silence, fairly quiet, so that you can really notice what you're doing with your body as we go through this exercise, which I'll demonstrate in a minute. Then I'll teach you centering, so you can then try it again. So it's basically a very mild, extremely mild pair exercise where you try and trigger each other's stress responses a tiny bit. And why do you think it might be very low level? Start it off really low key. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's from Paul Linden. I invite you to throw a tissue at each other. It's silly. And bearing in mind that laughing can also be a stress response. Has anyone experienced that? So we're also gonna, so I'd like to demonstrate it. Can I demonstrate it with you, Catherine? Is that all right? So you will all get a tissue, and then we're gonna stand 2 arm lengths apart. And then I'm going to check whether Catherine is okay for me to throw the tissue. Good, fairly neutral place to start is the belly. So I'm going to ask her, is it all right if I throw this tissue towards your belly? Mm-hmm. And who is in charge here? Catherine's in charge. So she can say no, and any of you can also decide not to be doing this exercise, that's fine. So once she said yes, I'm going to throw the tissue at her belly, and she's going to closely observe her own reactions, and I will too. So did you notice doing something with your body? What did you notice?
I blinked.
Blinked? Anything else?
Very subtle tensing.
Yeah.
Mainly in my middle, I felt it.
Yeah. It looks a little bit like a backward movement. So there's already quite a lot there that she noticed right away. So you might only need to do it once, and sometimes it depends on people's awareness. And also, if you are a martial artist, you might be used to, it might not trigger very much. So we're going to try different things later as well. And then you change over, and then I'll guide the centering after that. So it's very simple. So every pair is going to get a tissue, go arm length apart, ask permission before you throw. You could also, so if the belly, they're just like, nothing happens, you could ask permission to throw at the chest area or at their face. So you can calibrate it up a little bit to that. Any questions? All good? Great. So again, be aware of how you choose a partner. Some of you have already chosen a partner. And maybe choose someone you haven't worked with before. And feel free to step out as well if you need to step out. And don't worry, if nothing happens, don't worry about it. You don't have to try and aim the tissue at their eyes or anything. You can try another method later. Okay, so swap over. Has everyone had a go? Yeah. And did some of you notice a response? Yeah. So we'll try again a little bit later if you didn't. Why might you not notice a response in yourself with this mild trigger?
It might be it's a natural behaviour in you that you ran when you felt, obviously, the word attacked.
Yeah. What might that be? That natural,
defence.
like a freezing. Yeah. So that's why we're sort of cautious with calibrating up, because one of the stress responses is to freeze. So then you could shout at people, throw tissues, and actually what they're practicing is their trauma response. So basically doing this exercise to explore in a very our not trauma response, our stress response, which could be fight, flight, freeze, or fold. Most people familiar with those four? Yeah. Fold. It's kind of collapsing. It could be fainting. Kind of just giving in, completely giving in. Cool. So now we'll try some centering, if you would like. Who's been taught centering before? Right. Obviously EFC people. So it's basically a very simple tool to kind of reset ourselves. You could say calm ourselves down a little bit, or in fact perk ourselves up a little bit. It's a way to manage our state, and it can be done in many different ways. And once we've done this, you'll probably realize, oh, I've learned something very similar in yoga or martial arts, and it wasn't called centering, but it's very similar. And there's many different methods. So I'm going to teach you a very simple method called ABC, which stands for awareness, balance, and centering. So I'd like you to stand up. You can do it seated, but it's a little bit easier initially standing up. And firstly, bringing awareness to your body and to the balance in your body, so how you're standing in terms of weight distribution between your left and your right foot, and evening that out, and the balls of your feet and the heels of your feet. So we're not doing that leaning forwards or backwards thing that we were playing with earlier. We're centering our weight. And arms are relaxed again, kind of finding a certain symmetry in our bodies. And then becoming aware of the center of the front of your body, starting with your belly. So as Catherine reported, sometimes the stress response is in contraction in our abdominal area. So we can soften that a little bit. We don't need to collapse. We can stand up straight and still allow the in-breath to expand our bellies forwards in a natural way. And then being aware of the center of your face, relaxing your tongue inside your mouth, and relaxing your forehead between your eyebrows. And then bringing your attention, keeping a sense of your centered self also back into the room. And then at this point, you would continue with your normal activity. So where might you use this centering in your life? So it's often a way to kind of check in with ourselves, manage our state. You can learn to do it very quickly. I probably took a minute or so to guide you through it. Once you've practiced it more, you can do it in seconds. Or even, you know. So now we can do our experiment with the tissues again, and we can do it with centering, so you can see what the difference might be. So you can choose a new partner, and then with your new partner, again follow the safety, arm's length, ask permission, and then give them a moment to center. So before you throw the tissue, check, are you centered, are you ready? And then noticing if there's any response. If you want to calibrate it up a bit, remembering who's in charge, who's always in charge, the receiver. You can do tissue with a sound. You can agree on a sound like wah, maybe something like that. So to have an extra little trigger if you need, but start with the gentler one. Okay? So find another partner. Has everyone had a go at that now with centering? What did you notice?
It felt like I have a safe zone, like I'm at home, something's coming, but I'm still at home.
Ah, okay, that's a nice way to express it. Yeah, don't worry too much if there's no response. It could be that you're an experienced meditator, or it's just not a big enough trigger. So we'll try a different trigger, which could also be used with coaching clients potentially. And this one is using a word. So I'd like you to try it together first. And it could be a word that you wouldn't like to hear. Maybe it could be the name of a politician. Sorry, what did you say? Deadline, yeah. Something relatively mild. So on a scale of 1 to 10, if 10 is like your partner calling you the worst thing in the world, go for about a 3 or a 4. Okay? Because again, we don't want to go into something really major here. We're just learning to apply centering, and we don't need to have a massive response for that. In fact, that might stop the learning. You know, if we're too triggered, we can't learn. If we're too far out of our comfort zone, we can't learn. So with your partner, you can swap again, agree a word that you would like that person to say. And first you could say it quite neutrally, and then again if it doesn't quite hit any spot, you could ask them to say it in a certain way. Can I demonstrate with you, Lee? Please.
Depends what you're going to say.
I would like you to say the word Brexit to me. Okay, because that's quite, I can feel it already. So I'm going to center first.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Brexit.
I'm already getting a stress response. It's quite internal, but I'm feeling this thing here. But if I wasn't, then I could ask Lee to say, Brexit, or something like that. Yeah? Does that make sense? Thank you. So again, just be really aware of what the other person wants. Have a clear agreement. And still keep that bit of distance. There's not so much the need because we're not throwing something, but it still feels maybe a little bit more manageable if you've got 2 arms length distance. Unless you then agree, well, I'd like you to say that word to my face. You could agree that, but everything is agreed and calibrated to the receiver, right? Okay, so find another partner, another opportunity to look at your partner finding patterns. And often we don't know everything about our group yet, or maybe with a individual coaching client, we might know a bit more history. But we don't always know what people have experienced and what their trauma might be from the past. And then if we are working one-to-one, then working with a word or an issue, the word might represent an issue in someone's life, could be a very juicy coaching tool. So as the last exercise, I would like you to explore how you might do that with a client. So you can teach your partner a very simple centering practice again, like just standing more balanced. You could even just get them to relax their tongue inside their mouth. That will already make quite a big difference to most people. And then ask them to apply it to an issue in their life. So what you can ask them, what would your issue be that you're bringing? And that could again be a one word or one sentence, and teach them the centering technique kind of in the same way I've just taught you, but you're doing that in pairs. Does that make sense? Shall we demo it? Yeah, good idea. Hi, Mark.
Hello.
Hello. So what issue would you like to work with today?
Oh, the problem is my wife, she's really messy, it's a total nightmare.
Okay. So when this happens, when you get kind of annoyed by her messiness, what happens?
I go rah, 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 rah. Just do the centering.
Okay, and you would like to learn this tool to help you manage that state of blah. What do you notice when you're
tight in here, and I think about coffee cups, and I come back slightly, and my eyebrows go up a bit, and my breathing tightens.
Yeah, okay. So then I could teach you centering whilst you think of that scenario.
Okay.
Or you could say, Daria is so messy.
I could say coffee cups.
Coffee cups, yeah.
I do the centering.
Yeah, coffee cups.
Coffee cups. Okay. Now it doesn't seem such a big deal.
Okay.
We'll probably have a more constructive conversation about it.
Great, thank you. Does that make sense?
It does. I just have a more practical question though. So clearly the level of embodied awareness that Mark has demonstrated, in being able to recognise his reactions to that. I have a lot of clients who would be like, wouldn't even...
Nothing.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, I'm just, so, yeah, do you have any advice on like how to even get someone to notice what their reaction is?
Yeah, repeating it a few times. Sometimes I might say, I saw you do something with that part of your body, and then repeating and getting them to notice what you're doing here when you repeat the tissue throwing, for example.
Yeah, what she said, and also just like saying, well, what if anything did you do with your breathing? And frame it in terms of self-responsibility, like what did you do? And they might say, oh, nothing. So okay, let's try again. Oh, maybe I held my breath. Okay. You know? So give them really simple things. Okay, did you do anything with your belly? Oh yeah, actually. So people, unless they're really numbed out, can quite quickly realise their shoulders got tense or their breathing stopped or something quite simple like that. Yeah, but yes, some clients will literally say, nothing. So, okay, let's see if that's true, let's try again, this time observe your breathing. And you don't tell them because that disempowers them, right? But you want to like pointing their awareness to certain things, like Karen said.
Yeah. Want to have a go?
So the tissue now is the words or the phrase. Don't pick anything traumatic, so like 5 out of 10 hardcore. Okay, so I don't want to hear anyone say, you're a terrible mother, and some awful thing that's going to really destroy you. So just something that's like a bit annoying, like coffee cups for me isn't the end of the world, right?
Yeah.
But the coffee, that's the part I don't understand. Was coffee cups the trigger, or was coffee cups the
That's his word that signifies that situation.
not Not
Yeah.
a way to get out of the situation.
No, it's really, again, a mild trigger to practice your centering with, and then pretending you're in a coaching scenario with a client as you guide them through. Yeah.
Use a real thing, but just make sure it's not too hardcore.
Yeah, like a 3-4 on the scale of 10. Yeah. All right. Be walking around, so if you get confused, just ask.
Teach that next, because I don't want
All right.
First time most of you have ever done this, right? So it looked pretty good. Like for a first go, I was walking around, didn't have to really intervene much. I was thinking,
Yeah.
look like consent, calibration, that's the basic safety stuff. Not too much telling people what they're doing. Some of you remembered to center yourself when you were teaching centering. Like some of you looked a bit tense, but it's your first time, so it's no problem if you need to work with that. Language was nice, so good first.
One thing I noticed that some of you are closing your eyes to center, which may help you to tune into your body. And why is that not useful in the long run? Yeah, and if you are like somewhere public or you're having a challenging interaction, you probably wouldn't want to close your eyes and kind of go into this special place, but you kind of want to learn to do it on the go, when walking around, when doing stuff. So it's helpful to start experimenting, practicing it with your eyes open. Can I still feel my body with my eyes open? And being interactive with others.
We're going to continue centering, so let's do exactly what Karen said. Can we practice centering while walking? So let's say ABC. Could we apply those principles to walking to state shift? So awareness, balance, core relaxation. Is that possible walking?
Yes.
Let's try. Walking with coffee. And relaxing the core, so you can relax your eyes, your mouth, your belly. Something you can do driving, walking, even talking, right? You did this a bit earlier. So reminding yourself what you care about. Can you walk in a centered way? Okay, I want to offer you one more little coaching tool using this with a partner. So find a partner. Find a partner in a centered way. Totally impossible for most of us in our teen years. Did you notice the slight little ways partners can make us off center? Did anyone have a little bit of like that, as opposed to like, hey, resonate for anyone? Or did it, maybe the partner made you more centered? Sometimes we just find someone and we kind of like them and we're like, that's social regulation. Look around, look for someone you like, smile at someone, make a bit of eye contact. That in itself is centering, actually, yeah? We co-regulate, I was talking about this earlier. So we call that social centering. So we've done 3 types of centering: physical centering, Karen taught you; meaning centering, centering around what do I care about, what matters to me. Strohs uses this phrase, for the sake of what? Yeah, what am I a commitment to? It's another one he uses, yeah? And then this third kind we call social centering. It's called co-regulation by the trauma people. This idea that just by looking at people I like and know and feel familiar with, you can imagine them if you can't physically look at them. Like, think of someone who makes you smile inside. Or my niece, or your gran, or your cat. Notice what that does to your body. Right? So you can do that in real life or just in imagination. So Paul Linden calls that one smiling heart. So that's 3 ways to center. Yeah? Physically, we've been working with posture, attention, relaxation. These are the basic tools of the trade. You can do it standing, sitting, walking, it's all the same. Same basic principles of centering. You know, using triggers, starting off small in someone's window of tolerance, gradually increasing that to make it more realistic, more challenging if they need that. I like cold showers for this. Martial arts does this. Yoga does this. Okay, what happens if you stay in a challenging yoga pose for long enough? Stop breathing. Your face does funny things, then you relax. This is controllable. It's non-consequential. Yeah, so we have these dojos we can practice in like this. It's making some sense? Yeah. So another little application with the coaching client. The first thing is, if you're centered, they'll be more centered. So we're going to play a little game. It's called competitive freak out. So Person A, put your hand up. Person A, can I have a volunteer? Lee, you'll be great at this. Won't worry you for this, yeah? So, you're person A.
Person A.
Without touching me, yeah, or without spitting at me or screaming at me too much, your job's just to get really like, ah, like freaked out.
Okay.
Just do that now.
Get freaked out.
Yeah. My job is to calm him down. This is what I did with the Russian dog. Do you remember the Russian dog? Okay, or the little kid that you're trying to get to bed, and he's, my nephew, and he's going, well, I'm not going to bed. And it's like, yes, you are. You're trying to be as calm as possible to soothe their nervous system. So nervous systems are competitive. You see how this is sort of a game? Because if he freaks me out and I can't do the centering, it's going to get me a problem. So if my client's like, oh my God, my wife's leaving me and my boss hates me, and I'm like, oh my God, that's really stressful, what are we going to do? It doesn't help, does it? Yeah? Okay, so then we'd swap roles. Now this time Lee tries to keep calm. He's doing his ABC, his relaxed belly, his mouth. He's doing very well. And it's actually quite hard for me to keep it up, because I sort of don't want to. I feel like, oh, okay, and I relax. If it gets too much, then just put your hand up, and that means stop. What's the symbol to stop? Okay, so either partner can do that. That just means getting a bit much. Okay, so person A, ready to freak out, then afterwards person B. Give it a go. Just made this up. Just relax your jaw, shoulders. He's quite a big scary guy, so I didn't get it. Try not to freak yourself out, not her out. Okay, swap and swap. You both gone? It's the other person now, the other person. So remember, you're not trying to intimidate them, you're just trying to be stressed yourself. Yeah? Okay, change roles, go, go, go. Okay, well done. Good. If you traumatise your partner, they're all okay. Great. Do you see how this is useful as a coach?
Yes, I do.
Wait. I know you've got a yeah but coming, I can see it. In a bit. So, do you see how this might be useful as a parent? Who's a parent? I've heard it's easy. Who's a parent? Okay. You see how this might be useful when you have stressed employees? Yeah? Now, of course, being calm is not the only skill. We might actually want to express empathy. We might actually want to go, wow, that is really stressful, and shit, I know what you mean, so we don't just look like some kind of uncaring centering robot. Is that your question? Yeah. Okay. It's always the same question. So it's all right. It's a good question. So there is other things, right? In the same way, if a train is coming towards us on the train tracks, we center and then step out of the way. Okay? If someone's being mean to me, I center and then say, that's not okay. You'll be fired if you keep doing that, or we won't be friends, or whatever the thing is, right? Why are you being mean? But from a centered place. So centering is not the only thing. It just gives you a baseline to act from. Because you never said to yourself, you know what would have really helped the other day when I got into that argument with my partner? If I was more stressed, that would have been really useful. You just see what I mean? Because do you know why? When we're stressed, do you know what happens? We get stupider. We lose about 20 IQ points, they say. We get less creative and we get less empathic. Social engagement system and the fight-flight system are not compatible neurologically. It's hard to be connected and stressed, and it's really hard to be stressed and connected. Have you ever done anything you regret? Of course you have. Why did you do it? Why did you do it? Because you're in that fight-or-flight response, right? So we're taking us out of that, or at least reducing it from the murderous to the merely annoyed. You know, at least reducing it so we can then respond more skillfully. And that might include saying something, moving, punching someone. There's lots of options, but you're choosing those options from a more balanced place, a less reactive place. Yeah? It's useful to anyone? Where could you use this in your life? Everywhere becomes nowhere. Give me some specifics. Where specifically? Yeah.
Something not what I parent, but am parented.
Okay.
My dad is not able really to
Okay.
self-regulate, so I
Yeah.
learn to, I'm going to do it more.
Yeah.
It helps him to dial
Right, yeah. Rowena, parents are advanced. Okay, so that's the advanced practice. So if you can do it with your dad, you're doing great. I make this joke, I was doing centering Afghanistan, and it was like, okay, bullets, Taliban doing quite well, quite calm, doing pretty well. Went home, had dinner with my mum, not so easy. You're like, I mean, I think Ramdas makes the same joke about Christmas dinner or something dinner, but it was really true for me. And yeah, like parents and kids are advanced, people we have intimate relationship and history with is really advanced. So, you know, start off with the slightly annoying barista at Starbucks. Okay, if you need to practice, start off in the dojo where you can control the variables, in the yoga studio with the cold shower, and then apply it to dads. Where else? Give me a few more. Writing an email, receiving emails. What's that? Siamese. You don't like Siamese cats? I fucking love cats. Okay, we're not going to be friends. Oh, they're quite intense, are they? Okay, they're a little bit. Yeah, okay. What else? Thought you were slagging off cats for a minute there. All right. Well,
Having to get to Brighton shopping centre.
yeah, the shopping centre, Churchill Square. It's like, it's stressful. Yeah. Getting feedback. So this is one I use in corporations a lot. It's one we use in my courses where we get a lot of feedback and give a lot of feedback. We use it as part of the centering as well. Yeah. Who does presentations, speeches? Okay. Best case scenario in your life, you die before your parents. No? It's not best case scenario, is it? What's best case scenario? It's not going to happen. What's best case scenario in your life with you and your parents? They die before you. Best case scenario, your parents die before you. You give their eulogy. Best case scenario. Yeah, I gave my dad's eulogy a couple of years back. My sister, God love her, said, I can't do this, can you do it? I said, yep, I'm sad, I'm grieving, but I'm going to center myself and I'm going to do it. Yeah, life will come to you. If you don't need centering today, you will need it at some point. You will have a friend with cancer and you have to hold their hand in hospital. You'll have a parent and you're doing their eulogy. You'll have a kid that's sick. There's going to be something, right? Life will come to you. This is normal life. I'm not talking about exceptional circumstances. So sooner or later, you're going to need this when it really matters. So my attitude is don't wait for the dragon to come and kill you in your bed. Ride out to meet the dragon. It's Jordan Peterson's analogy. Yeah, actually go to where it's hard. Put on your armor, go to where you can do this and learn this. Go to the yoga studio or the martial arts dojo, have the cold showers. Learn it so that when you need it, when people are depending upon you, when it really matters, you've already got the skill. Make sense? Yeah?
What's the difference? Because I'm struggling to work out the difference between really centered state and that state of sort of shot back.
Yeah. Good distinction. So the word centered means different things to different people. Okay, some people are referring specifically to techniques involving bringing attention to the physical center. We use it in terms of techniques which reduce the physiological fight-flight response. You could use it more broadly as any state regulation technique that you can upregulate, for example, right? Like energizing yourself, like the fiery stuff. That's not reducing fight-flight, that's upregulating your nervous system. That's sympathetic, not parasympathetic. So it depends what people mean. I think there's a big distinction between centered and disconnected. Yeah, so let's try that. Can I borrow you?
Yeah, I was just thinking about a sort of grief situation where
Yeah.
you get disconnected.
Let's try. So I tend to answer most questions with experience. So how would it be to be disconnected from me? So you're calm, but you're not present or connected to me. Okay, so she knows what that's like, right? We've all experienced that. Okay, and how is it to be calm but connected? You came forward slightly. Did you notice that? Your face changed. Any other changes?
My belly sort of
Great.
expanded.
This feels quite connected,
Yeah.
but it seems quite relaxed. Is that fair to say? So now do the other one again. Disconnected. So often it's coming back is what she's just done. She's dipped her head slightly. She might have changed some things internally that I can't see. So you know the difference between the two, right?
Yeah.
Great. Makes sense? There's a distinction. Thank you, Sarah. This is a really simple thing you can do with clients. If they say, what's the difference between X and Y? I just say, show me. And they do both. Because the fact that she's asking the question means she's at least observed the difference between the two, right? So we call that distinction coaching. Very, very simple. Yeah. You're looking at me like I did a magic trick.
No? That was dead easy. This is really easy. I'm not that clever. Okay.